Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Political Excess. Today, let's recap the primaries from yesterday, June 7th. There were 7 states that had primaries. There's obviously a ton of different races. I'm not going to go over each of them. I'm going to just scroll through here. You could take a look at them. I'll point out the ones that I think are worth mentioning. Let's start in California. Let's just go to the statewide races. Gavin Newsom obviously is going to actually go up against a Republican in November, Brian Dahle. And some people are saying that the Republicans might have a chance in the state controller's race. I'll believe it when I see it, but that's one to potentially watch statewide where the Republicans might not completely be wiped out. But the other California races, the big ones here, Los Angeles mayor, that's heading to a runoff, and that'll be on November 8th, the general election day. Rick Caruso against Karen Bass. I think that's going to be an exciting race to watch. Over in San Francisco, the district attorney recall. This is a big race. It's not too surprising. Chesa Boudin was recalled by a 60-40 margin. So even in the bluest of blue cities, there's a point where it's too far for them when it comes to criminal justice. Now, over in the U.S. House for California, there's 52 races here. The only couple I want to mention are in the general election for the old 22nd district, that special election. Connie Conway did win over Lauren Hubbard by 19 points. That's not a surprise. And in the 27th district, incumbent Republican Mike Garcia, he did not get 50% of the vote against 3 other Democratic challengers. So that one is looking to be competitive in the general. Again, there's a lot of other races here. Most of the incumbents, if not all of them actually, were no real drama in much of the California House races. You could talk about margins. You can go through all that if you'd like. I'm just trying to hit the absolute highlights I think are worth mentioning. So let's move on to Iowa. So in Iowa, there's not much notable in the U.S. House. And in statewide races, there's only one to mention, and it is that U.S. Senate seat. In the Democratic primary, Michael Franken actually decidedly beat former U.S. Representative Abby Finkenauer. So it'll be Michael Franken up against Chuck Grassley in the fall. I didn't see that being a complete wipeout for Finkenauer. I thought she was going to be either win it or narrowly lose, but she lost pretty easily. That was a little bit surprising. So let's move over to Mississippi. Mississippi, I was actually a little surprised to see multiple competitive U.S. House races in the 3rd district for the Republicans. Michael Guest, he is the incumbent, and he is narrowly trailing Michael Cassidy. That is heading to a runoff. That's on June 28th. And in the 4th district, that is also heading to a runoff with Steve Palazzo, the incumbent. Over in Montana, in the 1st district for U.S. House, former Congressman Ryan Zinke, he is narrowly holding just over a 1-point lead. That was surprising for me a little bit. I thought he would have won much easier than that. So if he does hold on there, I don't think it'll matter in the fall, but it is surprising to see a very close race in that 1st district. So let's move over to New Jersey, where there were a couple of close primaries, but I don't think they'll matter too much in November, except for in the 7th district for the Republicans. Tom Keene, he won his race. I thought he would have won by a little bit more, as he's viewed as the strongest candidate there to win that race. And over in New Mexico, not much to say about the House. So over in the statewide races, Mark Ronchetti, he easily won the GOP nomination there for Attorney General. The Democrats, they had a closer race there. And finally, in South Dakota, the U.S. House, incumbent Republican Dusty Johnson, he actually had a semi-realistic challenger in his race, but he still won by a comfortable margin. So that is a quick overview of the primaries. Since there were a lot of races, there's bound to be a couple of surprises. I was surprised by a couple of things. Certain races that are more low profile, that don't have much polling, those have the highest potential to have an upset or something unpredictable happen. And yesterday was no exception. So feel free to look through all the other races. I'm still looking through some stuff myself. Those Mississippi runoffs will be on June 28th. The rest of the states will be November 8th with the general election. And next Tuesday, the 14th, more states coming up in Maine, Nevada, North Dakota, and South Carolina. Anyway, let me know if you have any comments about any of the races from yesterday. If you enjoy this content, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. See you on the next video.